Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I'm your Dungeon Master AuldDragon, and the players are...
Hi, I'm David Big Mac Shepherd. I play Braxon Miacc, who's a human fighter and an ex-collector of knickknacks.
Hi, I'm Dakami-sama, and I play Solas ab Ebha, who is Half-Elven Cleric Mage of Ogma.
Hey, I'm James. I play Ockar, human paladin from Brawl.
Hello everyone, I'm Sailor Motor. I play Finnel'ar Mohani, a druid from Grayspace.
Hi, I'm Levalithana, an elven wild mage.
Hey there, I'm Zach, and I play the character of Lafdul Moonglade, a special priest thief from Wildspace. He comes up with fun titles. His current title's a bit of an odd one, so you have to bear with me. It's a pendant. Well, no, let me hold on, people. Hold on, class.
Holding on.
The pendant, the pendant profundicated Kabbalist. Now, that doesn't sound exactly flowy. It doesn't flow off the tongue. So in Lafdul's,
Could you repeat that, please?
the appendant profundicated Kabbalist. So to make sense of that, in Lafdul's mind, it is keen to make something happen or to make seem overly complicated while being weird and played off as mysteriously occult.
So like your title.
No.
It's a self-referential title. It's referencing itself. I see.
It's
So it's awful.
no. Let me.
The title is calling itself awful.
You know how we left off? Well, Lafdul was grappling with a gargoyle. So he's a pendant because he's keen to jump on the situation. He's profundicated because he's made a situation needlessly complicated, and he's Kabbalist because he's really weird, but he's just playing off as being a cult.
You're just insulting yourself.
Well,
No,
you're out
that's...
to insult yourself.
It's called self-deprecating. It's okay.
Okay.
You realise you could have had the gargoyle grappler, which would have been a lot easier to say.
Yeah, it would, but it wouldn't have been Lafdul, would it?
That's true.
What even is Lafdul anymore?
That is a question I don't think Lafdul will ever come to an answer for.
I think that's a question for the ages. So
He's changed since he lost his ring.
Yes, indeed.
Don't remind me.
I think it's required at this point to always remind you. We left off last time. Lafdul had been playing with a new toy, a new friend, new possible pet, who was put to sleep by Leva. And so now it's been put to sleep, and you've got some little bit of time before it wakes back up.
I don't think we have much time in that sense.
That just gave me a thought. You missing the ring.
Can you not remind me of that silly ring? She also took my necklace.
No. I might all wait for us to get out of the sphere. We still have the chess set. We still have the chess set.
Yeah, we've pondered that thing. We've never put it to the test, though.
We could put it in the tracker. It could show us the way out of the sphere.
But the problem still is that even if we get out of the sphere until we know more about where we are, nearest spheres are either goblinoid or illithid.
Hey, we could just follow the tracker to her.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. We got many things we could track. We've got things that could track us out of the sphere. It's going through that direction. That's the problem.
The main problem is that a direct line may not be the best way to get out of here. That's...
I guess.
Oh, you mean it might point at a wall?
Mm-hmm. Or it might point you into the deep phlogiston.
Yeah.
Also, until we know more
What's
about
the problem
route.
with a deep phlogiston? I've never heard of this.
You get lost.
So, normally when you go between crystal spheres, you're going along a river. So you can kind of think of the spheres as having some sort of string connecting them. You don't have to go along that string, that Phlogiston River. You could just, go off into a place that doesn't have that and hope you encounter something. But, it kind of think of it as before modern navigation, before the compass, going sailing. You have a choice of following the coastline. If you want to get from Italy to Egypt, you can follow the coastline. You'll always know where you are. Or you can just set off into the middle of the Mediterranean and hope you get there.
But we would have the tracker pointing us in the right direction all the time.
Yeah.
But it might take decades or centuries to get through the deep phlogiston.
Right.
And
Fair.
we don't have enough air for that.
Or food or water.
Fair.
Yeah, but we can make all
Fair.
3 of those.
So,
Do those spells all work in the phlogiston?
Yeah.
Not if
Oh,
they require conjuration or summoning.
Yeah, the air spells might be a bit cool.
And
usually
if-
freshen air.
Do you
Rather than
require
make-
material components to cast spells?
Not
and
for
can you
food and
actually
water.
create enough food to feed your entire crew?
Yeah.
There's 3 priests now.
Well, there's a question. Does that barrel of salt pork work in the phlogiston?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's just creating
So it's
from
not
itself.
connected to the elemental plane of pork.
Elemental plane of
But so that kind of also gets to the other idea of, if you don't bring enough supplies and you can't get supplies along the way, setting off into the middle of the Mediterranean could be a death sentence for everyone. And you won't know what's out there. You could easily get lost. Whereas
is
if
that
you're
the
traveling
same-
along the coast, you can always just stop at some place along the coast and, go get more food and stuff.
Also, there's unknown dangers in deep phlogiston.
Is the elemental plane of pork adjacent to the secret cow level from Diablo?
Could be related.
Are we gonna fight giant pigs with battle axes?
We should do it at some point. But
I mean, I'm sure Joel's got like a wooden leg we can steal. We just got to find a cube somewhere.
I suppose we'd be more likely to fight giant pigs in space when Ald actually becomes big enough on Twitch to get sponsored by the Ham Marketing Board.
But getting back to the original point of James, we should not hurry leaving this sphere until we know more about the surrounding spheres and the potential route home, since this is the only sphere that we have at the moment more knowledge than that it's just a goblinoid or illithid sphere.
Fair. I didn't know about
Yes.
the deep phlogiston.
No, that's fine.
Leva agrees with you, Solas.
I thought that if we did like the tracker, it would send us on like the fastest path there or something.
I think the final piece of information that we need from this sphere is in our getting home route is the actually leaving this sphere. Before that, we should get the information about how we actually get home when we leave this sphere.
Yeah,
Well-
we might not be able to get all of that though. We might have to go searching from sphere to sphere.
Well, there's quite a lot of different
We have at
knowledgeable
least-
sources in here, like that giant snail that has information, or that dragon.
You were saying, Ockar?
Well, we at least have the arcane we could work with, depending if we want to go with their idea.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be able to make deals with many of the other races too, if you prefer to work with one of them instead. So.
Hmm. We might be able to.
But there is no rush in finding the way out of this sphere, since
There isn't. We're losing crewmen. We just lost one just now.
Yeah.
but what we need is more is since there might be a way how we get home without actually going through phlogiston.
There's a
Yeah,
bit
it's
of
called using my gate.
there's a bit of urgency, but not so much rush. Like,
Yeah.
You'd like to get out of here as soon as possible, but not in such a way that you are putting yourself in unneeded danger or going off, without at least some more information, kind of thing.
Yeah, we need more information before we worry about going out of this sphere.
I think we need to find out as much information as we can from here, which is going to be second-hand information about all the spheres we can travel to, so that we can work out which one's the most attractive candidate. And I'm guessing that we want to go somewhere where there are people that read and write and have libraries and have charts and that sort of thing.
Again, we also might have, since we've been told by multiple sources that there might be entities here that can guide us home without going through those other spheres that are risky.
May I remind the others that we have, it's all nice and good to talk about leaving the sphere and everything, but we have this immediate problem of a gargoyle sitting on the deck at the moment. Could
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
Solas,
maybe
Snooze
talk
away.
about that and fix that particular problem before we go
Yep.
into theoretical
How-
atmospheres?
Solas votes making sure that the gargoyle can't attack the crew.
How long have we got to secure this thing?
We got as long as my tongue spell remains active. Otherwise, we've got no way of communicating with it. Well, I suppose I got telepathy, but
How long is it going to be knocked out for?
presuming it'll be asleep longer than my tongue spell will last, unless we wake it up, which is probably like a few more minutes from now.
Well, I was thinking about using some wood to cover its wings so we can nail the wings down, but is that going to hold it down?
Considering it was breaking through the shackles.
And
Well,
how
not
long
shackles.
Rope,
but-
not shackles.
That would
How
also
long
be
does the
extremely
sleep
painful.
long does the
So
sleep
the
spell
wand is not the sleep spell. The wand is different. I don't know if you know exactly how long it lasts.
It's the first time. It's been used the first
No, you've
time.
used it twice. You've used it before, at least once.
I have?
Yeah, at least once.
Yeah, you have
'Cause
used
I
it at
know
least
you-
once.
Mm,
'Cause
I don't know if it worked. It may not have worked.
I
It
didn't
was on the
put-
lizard
I
folk,
didn't
wasn't
put
it?
it down as successful.
Either way, you're not really sure how long it lasts. You could look at the
Okay.
sleep spell and make a guess from that, if you want.
Has anyone got any way to control this thing if we wake it up?
Well, we killed the others.
I could
Yeah,
try
but It's still tried to attack
confusing it.
Lafdul.
I could try if I change my appearance just so that I appear to be someone else and I cast a spell on it. I may be able to just get it just to tell me where its base is. But are we even going to go there? If I were to find it
Well,
out theoretically.
Well, gargoyles might have some money, and we were short on money.
Are they going to have information?
They're not going to have information, I doubt, looking at us, but
I mean, if you,
you
Money's
find-
nice.
I mean,
you can always
if we
ask
find-
ask Lefmel what she thinks of. I mean, she has made herself known. She's like occasionally mentioning something to Leva, like, is this normal for outspherers?
Leva says, when we're curious about something, yes.
Lafdul's going to change his appearance, I guess.
If we go to that thing's base, we're going to be fighting the other gargoyles that are there.
Oh, this goblins now, this kobold's now going to know that I can change my appearance. I
Yeah.
suppose it doesn't matter
If-
at the end of the day.
Oh, Leva
If-
has one too. Has one
If-
left.
If we have a fight, we might get other crewmen killed. So if there is likely to be information there that can help us get out, it's
This
possibly worth the risk.
this is going to be a here and now thing. If I change my appearance to be some other generic humanoid, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. I'd just be another humanoid, or a human, for example. And I will. Do I know how long it's been?
For what?
Would I know if my tongue spell's still up?
Your
Good
tongue spell
question.
is
Why
still
are
up. You have some
Alright,
minutes
then
left.
Alright, I will change. I use my hat disguise to change my appearance to a human.
Question to Lafdul, what's the point of changing your appearance?
You will see, because I'm going to cast Inverted Ethics on it. If it works, it won't realise that I was the previous person it talked to.
Ah,
So its ethics might be reverted, and it might work because it's not previously encountered me. Because I don't appear to be the same person.
Are
I'm
you
hoping that
are you
I
telling
could
us?
just... Yes,
Are you telling us this or just doing it?
I'm being vague about it. I'm just saying I'm going to change my appearance and going to try something on it.
Okay.
I'm not saying more than that.
So you're then going to wait until it wakes up? Or are you going to
no,
wake it up?
I'll kick it and wake it up.
While
Well, hang
this is going, I will cast Cure Light Wounds on Leva.
It's a case of, if it goes, just let it go. I'm not going to stop it.
Would
Or
if
you can
Brax-
kill it if it attacks us.
Ald,
Mhm.
if Braxon pops in and picks up the man catcher off the wall in the room behind us, can that be used to hold this thing down?
You can try to use it to hold it down.
Yeah.
Like you can
I
get it.
know,
Break it.
You can get it around
I know
its waist, but the you could not get it around, like, force its wings curled up and get it around the wings.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
would be too big.
Because I know it's the wrong body shape. I just didn't know if it was like out of the question. All right, Braxton's gonna put the man catcher over it, but he's not gonna lean on it hard. He's just gonna have it over it, ready.
That's going to make what I'm going to do a bit difficult if it realizes it's in a hostile situation. The idea is that I trick it.
Oh, okay. Braxton.
I mean, if it doesn't work, it just goes off at this point. At the end of the day, we're not going to kill something that's asleep, are we?
Okay.
So...
Braxton's gonna stand down with the man catcher.
Okay.
All right.
He'll still have a hold of it. He hasn't got any other weapon in his hand. He's just put his other weapons away and he's holding the man catcher.
Alright, so I appear as a human. I'm going to cast Inverted Ethics on it. I have no idea if it'll work, but...
Does it get a saving throw?
Yeah, it gets the saving throw.
Okay.
And essentially I would wake it up. I'm just thinking what I would ask it. Because I know that Inverted Ethics basically means it reverses what it would normally. It reverses its like behavior in a way.
Yeah. All right. So you've cast it on it. You won't know until you wake it up whether it has worked.
Yeah, and I'm appearing to be something else, but I can still hopefully speak with it.
Okay.
It can take a while until it wakes up. It's
I think you just force it awake. Anything that's magically sleep. It's not a deep sleep. Well, it is a deep sleep, but it's not like a catatonic sleep.
How would you know? Do you know?
I mean, you stab it, it'll wake up. It's a low-powered magic.
Well, no, you don't know, but at the same time, you won't know until you try it. So it's one thing that you. If you wanted to wake it up, you might as well try.
Okay.
The only thing that I would say is that stabbing it might be a little bit too questionable.
It'd be too hostile.
Yeah.
No matter what you say or do in that situation, I have to.
If it doesn't wake up,
shaking,
if it doesn't wake up from violent shaking, then the question is, would you actually want to injure it in order to wake it up? That's what you'd be looking at. All right, so you've changed your appearance into just a human.
Yeah, just any old human.
Okay, and then you're gonna shake it awake, or try to at least.
I'm just thinking a second. Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Solas is ready to cast magic missiles on it if it attacks Lafdul.
Okay.
Lafdul, remember that it's a stone. If you kick it, your feet will hurt.
I mean, yeah. Well,
So you
it's
shook
still
it.
fleshy.
So you shook it. Is that it? Or do you want to kick it?
I'll shake it, see if anything happens.
Okay. You do shake it pretty vigorously. And its eyes flutter open. It sees you, and it lets out a horrible, gravelly screech. Leaps up off the deck and starts flying away, screaming out, "Oh my God, the food!"
Oh no, I've made
In
it.
Goblin.
In Goblin?
In Gargoyle, sorry.
So you basically made it have ethical problems eating us.
It's not something I expected.
Is that a permanent effect?
No, it's
No.
temporary.
Oh, right.
Lafdul's just stunned by the situation. He's like, that was unexpected.
And it
Nah,
wings
just let
away.
it go. Yeah.
Lefmel is laughing uproariously, which you've never heard a kobold laugh before. It's kind of creepy and kind of weird because it sounds like a little dog, a little yappy dog laughing. You never heard anything quite like it.
Solas chuckles to himself that again Lafdul's tricks didn't work.
Oh, it worked in a way I didn't expect it to work. So I suppose you're right, but it had an unexpected side effect.
Then Solas goes to collect gargoyle parts.
What level spell was that again?
4. Do I get XP for that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Braxon says to Lafdul, if that spell scares those things off, can you use that if they come back?
Now that I think about it, probably.
Right.
I mean, I effectively reversed its intentions towards us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you do that while they're moving? Or do they have to be lying down?
No, I can do it in combat. It's a fairly short spell.
Does it just affect one of them, or could you have done
No,
that?
I can affect multiple.
Oh, might be worth doing. It's a powerful spell. But good experiment. But Braxton slaps Lafdul on the shoulder, goes back in with the man catcher and hangs it up.
Lafdul's just pondering to himself. Then he realizes that people are probably in pain, need help. Then he feels really bad about the person who died and apologizes to Solas that he should have been there to help.
Well, it
got caught up in the moment. I don't know, Lafdul just feels bad, that's all. I mean,
yeah, but it wasn't something. I mean, they died not because of your inaction, but because of the gargoyle attack.
Yeah, Braxton's going to say, when Braxton comes back, he's going to say, could you give me a hand teaching me some skills for helping people at some point?
Who are you asking?
Well, he's asking Lafdul, but Solas to do as well.
Helping people? What do
Yeah,
you
like,
mean? Like
bandaging, some stuff like that. Maybe I can get better at it. It would be nice if I could stop crewmen dying.
No,
you basically do all know basic bandaging.
Yeah.
This is more of a it's the theory behind it and what it's understanding like several steps ahead, I guess. It's like the next level above just bandaging someone. It's guessing what their potential injuries could be and stuff. What's the best course for healing them? And I mean, I can do, but I'm a little busy training at the moment. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't have to be now.
I mean, Solas also knows this. Could you ask him? I mean,
Whoa, what?
I am.
I'm asking the pair of you.
Ow.
Solas is also quite busy
Yeah, you got books to make.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm training. I mean, I might have a couple hours, but I'm also training. I'm supposed to be gem casting and scribing a scroll, so I'm like really busy.
All right, so
This
You
is
wanna
not
get
something you
the-
can learn anytime soon, anyway. So there'll be time for me to help you out with that.
yeah, that's fair. Do you want to get the ship underway, or is there something else that you want to do here on the ship deck plan?
I think we're gathering up gargoyle parts. So.
Yeah, Solas gathers gargoyle parts.
Okay. Ask me after the game, and I'll give you, like, if you want. Are you trying to get specific pieces, or what? What is the purpose of it?
Intact pieces.
Yeah, specific pieces.
Okay. So after the game, let me know what specific pieces you were gathering, and I'll let you know how many you got.
Do any of us know anything about these creatures?
Not much, but that's why I'm gathering so I can study them.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right.
And they are obviously creatures that might be used in magic spells or potions or such.
So you have you'd already been traveling for 18 hours at this point, so another 6 hours will get you to the end of the day, and everyone can change up their spells.
Yay.
I will cast few more healing spells before Solas goes back to rest.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got like one healing spell.
I cast Cure Moderate on Braxon.
Oh, thank you.
He needs to roll first.
Yeah.
There you go. 5 hit points.
It's
Did anyone else get injured?
I will regenerate, but I probably would have used healing on myself, my spell. But I don't think it matters considering I just regenerate. But
Well, I cast another Cure Light Wounds on Braxon and Leva. Since Leva didn't seem to be completely healed. That first one is for Braxon.
Leva is they put it both onto Braxon because Leva
you.
is going
Well,
to recover that overnight.
Okay, if you said that then.
She just has she's 1 hit point low.
Yeah,
Well,
if you
that's good.
said that then I would have put both of those on Braxon.
Well, I was going to say I'm nearly healed.
Lenelius could use some healing.
Well,
Oh,
I'll heal Lanelius.
yeah, I would heal Lenenius rather than myself with my one spell.
All right. So Braxon, you get the 4, and then the 7 goes to Lenelius.
Yeah.
If he's not topped up, I will cast this on him.
Where are the tokens?
They're not on this. You can just use.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just
can use
adding
the
it
sheet.
manually on the character sheet.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. I mean, partly it's because I'd have to set up like a little area for it on this map, and I just didn't do that.
Okay.
All right.
Can you change up our spells and all?
Yeah. So since it's actually shift 2 right now, so that's Leva, Braxon, Lafdul, and Mariel on the helm. So Finn, Ockar, and Solas go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Braxon thanks everyone that goes back to sleep.
you can get underway. But you guys can always, I mean, you can change up your spells anyway, and we'll just roll with that, just to make it
I
easier.
would have only have cast one temporary healing potion because I would have refreshed one of them, the one that was lacking. I will type out the durations in a moment.
Okay. So you can go ahead and move the ship 2
Okay.
tiles to get to the end of the day.
I'm just trying to see the scale. I zoomed out too much to be able to see it. We were going left, weren't we?
Yes.
Right. So hang on. 2 tiles is going to be there.
Yeah. You can use the arrow keys as well. remember.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot about the arrow keys.
No, it's fine, because that should move you a full
Boom.
a
Yeah.
full square.
Yep.
All right. So
Oh, incidentally,
Mhm.
up here, is that a passage?
yeah, you can kind of vaguely see that there is a tunnel going up that way. And Lefmel will, like if you ask what's going on with that, she calls it the fungus path, and it leads to a. Basically, she calls it a civilization of giant mushrooms.
So mechanics.
She does say that they do some trading, and they're open to trading, but not that many people trade with them. They're weird, and they don't exactly have a lot that other people want, other than they do have a lot of strange concoctions, as she calls it. But she doesn't know the details. She's never been up there herself.
Okay. Well, we've been told to go the other way anyway. So.
Yeah. I mean, but you can also keep that in mind if you want to explore on your own.
Yeah.
This map does, it will keep what is there on the map. So you can say that you're either doing some basic mapping or taking some notes, so you can get to places that you've already been, or go off and explore areas that you haven't been to on your own.
What was the name for the place? Mushroom Path?
The fungus path.
Fungus Path.
Yeah, that's specifically the that gigantic tunnel. That's not the name of the people who live there. She doesn't actually know the name.
Sounds like a group of fun guys.
Yeah, very much so. Especially if you like strange concoctions. All right. So,
I'm just thinking, because I kept a couple of body parts of Red Nodes, the wizard, and the Zixchill. I think Gloffer or Vigny. I can't remember which one it was. No, I kept body parts of quite a few people. I'm just thinking like hands or a finger or something, because it just says a part of a person. I didn't specify what I took. I mean, would I have to keep it in a sealed container or something? Because I assume it's rotting at this point.
yes, you would keep them in at least a sealed jar.
Would fingers be enough? I would have got a finger off each of the people that I wanted. Like one off Tsar, Vigler, Hurlgang? Is it Hurlgang? No.
How do you know which finger belongs to who?
Parker would have pointed them out, the officers. They look different than the crew, I guess.
Hang on. Yeah, but
the reason why I would have asked Stalker anyway.
He wouldn't have a box of fingers. He would have
a
jar with a finger in it and a label on it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Right.
I've labeled it or marked it, put paint on it or something.
Right. So, are you thinking about getting a Speak with Dead cast?
I was thinking about it for the wizard, because you've got wands, haven't you? I'm not. I did have it memorized, but the thing is, I might learn more information from Red Njord, and I can only speak with Dead once. But I got a month to do it within. No, I'm not going to cast it now.
Well,
I
Red
got a
Njord's
month.
not dead.
Red Njord's companions,
Oh,
the
right.
wizard.
Yeah, it sounded like you were.
I was thinking about it. No, I was just clarifying.
Red Njord, so.
No, not
Are you going to be asking those gargoyles about anything?
Yeah.
those dead gargoyles?
I mean, I could ask them where their treasure is. I mean, I do have one memorized, but I don't have the tongue spell. Oh wait, if this is the next day, I would have the tongue spell. But for the moment, just hold on to it. I was just clarifying that I've separated out and preserved the fingers that are not just rotting away somewhere or something that's been thrown overboard.
Well-
Even if we went past them now, we could, if we return here, look for the gargoyle treasure if you talk with them.
Here's a
Yeah.
theological question
Why
for
don't
you.
you ask them, Solas?
I don't really talk with death.
What do you mean? All clerics talk to dead things.
So
It's kind of our job.
here's the other problem with speaking to those gargoyles to get a location on where their lair might be. This arch of stone that you went by is the size of a planet, and there's tons of orbital debris, little bits of asteroid floating around, stuff like that. They may instinctually know, and they may recognize based on, that rock over there is slightly darker gray than this one over here, so I go in between them, and that's how I get home. Like that may be how their internal mapping is, and that's not exactly going to be something that can easily be described to you. So you might have to search, not only a planet-sized arch of stone, but also hundreds of asteroids on the vague directions of a gargoyle spirit. It might be a little bit too much. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try it,
No.
but you
I
have
wasn't planning on.
there would be a massive, massive, massive amount of space to search based on vague directions. All right.
I mean, it's here, not there. But I mean, if there's gargoyles once, we could find them again, probably, if we wandered around for several days. But I don't think we're going to do that, so.
Maybe. All right. So that's one day. You want to keep going, or do you want to?
I want to use memory read on Red Node.
Okay.
And the particular memory, if it works, was for I'm trying to think that conversation with Lelenius. Was the how they learned how to activate the either the training or the how they cracked getting it to work. Like
It didn't work.
something like this. All right, yeah, but that would be what I'd be searching for.
Okay.
Yeah, another spell component now.
All right. So you can keep the ship moving. You can go 12 hours to the shift change, unless there's something else that someone would want to do at the end of the day, kind of thing.
Was
A quick just a thing that Solas would have done is that Solas would have old small funerary rites for the dead crewmen.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
yeah, Lafdul.
Yeah, Braxon would get up
that
for
as well.
All right.
So what do we do with the body, so to speak? I mean, no, don't look at me like that. I mean, as in, do we literally just throw them overboard when they're dead, or do we?
You would
I
generally
think-
wrap them in a shroud and
Yeah.
give them a quote unquote
Oh.
burial at
See,
Bury at
Burial
sea.
at sea.
Yeah. because you the oh well no, never mind. There's no atmosphere.
No, I mean if we lower them into the gravity plane, we don't just.
No, I was
chuck
thinking
them
about
full.
shooting an arrow at them, but there's no air.
Well, there's air envelope as long as there are in our air envelope.
Oh, it's just a
but,
large object, isn't it?
Yeah, bodies will carry air with them.
Yeah.
But
Once
it
we
also
put.
burn up the air.
Yeah, it may
Well-
not. It would not. A fire would not go very
Sustain
long.
itself.
But like, I mean, what is the worry? Why would you burn them? Like some people would. Ockar's people would prefer at least a little bit of a burning. And you may have done that with some people. Like you'd know the expected funeral rites, but not everyone is going to be want a cremation. Or even
Yeah.
a partial cremation.
The common burial rites are just wrapping them in a shroud and pushing them overboard with the prayers and such.
Do we know anything about the religious preference of this person that died?
You would.
Then, if we knew, Braxon would
Follow
try
whatever.
want to try and do something as close to what they want as possible.
Yeah, most people it's just a standard burial at sea.
Yeah. And I'm presuming if we put them over the side, they would slowly drift out over the gravity plane
Yeah.
and then disappear once they get to the edge.
Before we go to sleep, Lara would kind of like to cast sending as well to our friends.
Okay.
And she's looking around for the page. She says ideas that we want to tell them and anything that we want to ask them.
It's more of a case of them giving us an update, or we could say it's that we're just.
Well, before you cast sending, have we got the names of all the crystal spheres around us?
We've got some.
So,
Does that kobold know?
Yeah, I mean you've gotten the names of some of them.
so if we send the names of the crystal spheres we know, we can ask if they know the way back from any of them. And we've also waiting to see if they were. We asked before if they knew the way back from where we are, so we can say, do they know the way back from any of them?
We did hear that we are somewhat close to Falx.
You're not necessarily somewhat close to it, but there is a known route there.
Yeah, I thought we were just near Illithid spheres, not near Falk specifically.
You're not. So again, you don't know how many spheres away that is. But there is a known route to there from here. Like if that was the way you wanted to go, you could get that route.
I
Sorry.
don't think any one of us is willing to go that route.
Vaguely, how long were we to the next port?
Week or so.
Spell.
Week or so.
Come on.
All right, so you can certainly share the names as you have heard them. Some places are going to have different names.
Yes, Leva will let them know whatever we know about those spheres. What else do we know?
We know we've got to pass through humanoid space or Illithid space.
Yes.
Well,
so we
Not necessarily, because again, just because these are like, no one's going to tell you about a sphere that no one goes to because it's, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Also, we've been hinted at the possibility of getting back without going through any spheres.
And there's there's also just the fact that there may be spheres not known.
Yeah.
Or known to secret people, the Illithids may know another sphere nearby, but they're keeping it secret from everyone, kind of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the goblins or kobolds or hobgoblins may, or the Darrow may, any of these races may have secrets that they're not telling in public, and you'd need to find that information out.
So how many spheres do we actually know by name?
Let me see.
Because Leo would do something like, we are close to the following spheres and the list.
Yeah.
That we know of. Do you know any of those? Do you know a way home from any of those? Something like that. Maybe cut it down so it will fit into the number of words.
You know of 8 spheres.
Okay. So we are close to semicolon and the list of the spheres.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it we are close to for 12 words. Well, so we have another 13 words.
Does anyone have anything
Oh,
else that they
okay.
want to share or ask them or anything like that?
If they have managed to return to the barge.
Yeah.
Any news from your side? Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. That's a catch-all general thing, isn't it? That covers
Or
everything.
any news? Question mark. That's it. That makes it, what was it, 12, 14 words. So we have another, is it 24 or 25?
25.
25.
All right. Then do they have any interest in any of those spheres?
Well, they probably tell us if they even recognize them.
I mean, if you just give them a name, they're gonna do you have any interest in Baltimore? Like, that doesn't tell you anything. Like, I don't know where Baltimore is. Baltimore what? There may be multiple like, you're just giving them a list of names and asking if you've heard about it. They're not gonna say, oh yeah, Sarash space. That sounds interesting, even though it could mean anything.
But what, I mean, in connection with the last sending, it should be clear maybe that we would expect them to, if they recognize one of the names, to tell us, yes, there's a way via that sphere to come back to the known space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you basically just ask for, you want to know if they made it back to Kislev and check the area.
Yes.
Okay. So you perform your sending to the Star Knights, and they. You get a response back that they have not heard of any of those 8 spheres. And they have made it back to Kislev and found no trace of the barge.
Haha, I see. Lever passes that on to the others. The barge has gone.
And they also inform you that they will be paying a visit to the, they're going to go to the Elven Imperial Navy and let them know, give them a summary kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to ask, what's his name? The Elven guy, whether he wanted to send a message as well. Add to the message that we were sending.
You've already
Yeah,
did your sending, so you can
Okay.
wait until next time.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'll pass that on what they told us, and I'll tell him that if he has anything to pass on to them, then he should tell me for tomorrow.
And also, you get one last thing that the Octave Arcane is in a week or so, we'll know what your cut is of everything that's been sold and everything like that. You'd realize.
Okay. Liver greens. If we ever return, we know what the cut is in a week or so.
That's the other thing, yeah. Now you can do a sending to the woman who runs Higimus's shop, because that's like he kind of gave it over to you. I'd need to go look at her name again.
That would be nice, but you don't need to bother because Leva only has one sending for the evening.
Right? No. I mean in the future. I don't mean right now. But yeah. So in the future,
you can make more sending materials when you need it.
Yeah, but I just mean that in the future, you probably will want to let her know something. Not necessarily right now. You might want to wait until the Octave Arcane handles the selling, so they actually know how much money you'd be getting.
Yeah. Well, if the Octave Arcane sends our money onto her, she can forward a payment to people building our asteroid to us.
Yeah.
We'll send her a message, lost in space.
And keep enough money to keep the office open.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what you get back. So it's going to take them at least a week to get to Zivlin, you'd realize. They don't tell you that, but you can talk to Braxon about that and realize that it'll be about a week for them to get to Zivlin and talk to the elves.
Silly question. Does Glau know anything about this sphere?
No, Glau does not.
Is he at all interested in the sphere?
Oh, he's interested. He's except when the gargoyles showed up, he flitted below decks real fast.
Does he know what gargoyle is?
He knows it's a dangerous flying thing that's bigger than him that could probably rip him apart. So
yeah,
but no, he's never encountered one personally. He's very interested in the sphere. He's like always up on deck, normally watching what's going on, paying attention to the tunnels and everything like that.
Would Glau be interested in the bits of the dead gargoyles?
No. Why would he be?
To see what they are.
He's not
that.
So he's not an anatomist.
But
he's not a wizard.
No, but he's got better eyes than us, and if he could recognize one at range, he might be able to warn us.
That piece of flesh has 3 wrinkles in it. See, you clearly only saw one. That would be his evaluation. By that logic, he can see things better than us. I'm not trying to slight, but it's what can he have done?
It's not like they are that different from the stones around them from distance.
No, Glau's got very good eyesight and might see that things coming towards us are gargoyles before we can see them.
Oh, you mean if he studies it so he can stay on watch?
Yeah.
Well, that's entirely different than what
but you pay him to be a navigator, not to be on watch.
I know we're not paying him to be. I know we're paying him to be a navigator. I just mean if he's out and he sees something.
If he sees something, he'll say something, but it's not. He's not.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. No, but what I'm getting at is that's not his mentality. His mentality is he's paying attention to what's around you from a navigator's point of view, not from a this represents a danger to the ship point of view. He is absolutely a can be absent-minded about that sort of thing.
Yeah, so he'd be looking for asteroids rather than scavers.
Yes, and it's not so much that he'd be looking for asteroids; it's that he'd be paying attention to the asteroids from a navigator planetology point of view. And it may only be like a secondary thing where it's like, oh yeah, that asteroid is coming towards us on a collision course. Oh, I suppose I should tell someone, kind of thing. Like later than it would for someone who's actually a lookout, who's specifically looking for dangers.
Basically, he's looking. That's interesting looking asteroid archipelago. That could be good reference point when you are navigating.
It's a shame it's coming right towards us. Oh wait, we should get out of the way of that.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, he's very absent-minded in that way. Like when he gets into his head about studying things from a navigation planetary point of view, he can very easily forget that something may actually be a danger to him.
He's basically really focused.
All right, so you can keep moving.
Wait.
It's back to shift 1. So Nor, Finn, Ockar, and Solas.
Before my shift was up, I would have cast Wemmerflow and Cure Serious into my altar to recharge that effect.
Okay.
Did you resolve the memory read?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you move 12 hours, you'll get to where the shift changes, and I will stop you if it...
Yeah, I'll have to
So
stop when I was thinking of moving.
I'm getting lost here and the time passing. On that failed attempt, on the failed attempt of casting Memory Read, that was the same time I cast Wemmerflow on that same day.
Yeah.
And it has not yet passed to another day.
Yeah.
Or has it?
It is now the next day. Technically, you're going to sleep. You can change up your spells if you want, though.
It's just for... Obviously, I gotta keep ticking off things every time.
Yeah.
The day passes.
But this is only one day since you left the Cobalt port. Now, I mean, you can always use the measuring tool to see how far it's been. It's been 24-hour worth of trip. All right. So Braxon, you can go ahead and move the
Okay.
ship.
Yeah, I sort of got told to stop now before. Right. So we're going to do just 2 or another 2?
2 is just 6 hours.
Yeah.
So I'll stop you. This would be about 12 hours. Right here.
Oh, okay. I had to go up diagonally. So
yeah, you can go diagonal. It's fine.
We can? Alright. Okay, thank you.
I don't know if you can do it with the keyboard, but...
Yeah.
Alright, so that would be a shift changeover to second shift. Nemariel, Leva, Braxon, Lafdul.
Yeah. Braxon, before they went, would go thank the crew that got up in the middle of the night to help us with the fight.
Alright.
And get a report if anything was happening.
Should probably put a priority on the crew just not fighting.
Yeah, we don't want to. Well, if we
see anything that's even remotely dangerous to them.
Well, so again, if you get into a ship-to-ship combat, they're gonna have to fight. If it's more of just scavers, you can tell them to head below deck.
If it's something that we can handle relatively easy, and you can...
But you might have to specify that to them at the start of a situation.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's shift changeover, and...
Well, at least we know if we encounter gargoyles, they can immediately retreat to below deck.
Yep.
Right.
I assume spiders are going to be quite popular around here.
Anyone on our shift's got anything they want to do? or we just push on?
I'm using my memory read again.
All right.
When I wake up, I guess.
Okay.
But I assume that hasn't happened yet because the shift hasn't changed back.
No, this is the start of your shift.
Oh,
Yeah, so you can use it at the start of your shift.
well, wouldn't I use it at the end of my shift?
It's up to you.
Because I lose
I don't care.
Constitution.
I don't care. It's up to you.
Yeah,
If you
no,
want to wait,
I'm
okay.
using it
Okay.
at the end of my shift.
Then it'll be in another 12 hours.
Does that stop you sleeping though?
No, I lose Constitution.
Oh, you lose Constitution. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So that'll
There's
be
no
about
point losing Constitution in a fight if I.
I think someone wants me to move on because they're pinging.
No, I'm just letting you know where it would be.
Okay.
It's fine if I mean again if there's people who want to do something, let me know.
No, I'm changing up my spells.
Okay. That's a little bit.
That's too much, is it?
Yeah, that's too far.
All right.
It's one back.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. So you, Lafdul, you want to do your memory read?
Yeah.
Okay. It does fail.
It's pretty slim whenever it works anyway, so.
Leva, did you want to do another sending, or do you want to give the Star Knights time to get to the elves?
I want to give them time, and as proposed before, she wants to let the woman in Higimus in our office, I mean Higimus isn't here anymore, know what to do.
Okay. Well, you don't. Other than the fact that you're lost in space, you don't have a whole lot to tell her. And that's fine. You can let her know that you're lost.
Yeah, it will be something like lost in space, maybe what is it? Goods, money, gold, will turn up soon. Keep
More
it.
information when you
Keep
have
it
it.
for
kind of
us. Something like that, yes.
Okay. All right. She responds, understood. I think that she's been given enough money to cover expenses, or they've already been paid for a time, so she's good for at least a few months at this point.
Well, you say that, but Lafdul's Thieves Guild thing's racking up by now, probably. I only put 1,000 in.
Probably.
Ugh.
But at the same time, like they're if they know that you're gone, I mean, and they're gonna they would know if your ship came back and left again, kind of thing. Now, if you showed up on another ship, it might be a different story. But they would, if you come back and say, I got lost in space, here's my back dues, they know that you're you're a ship's thief, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be like, yeah, that's fine. Pay us the back dues, that's fine. All right, so it's the start of Shift 1. Nor, Finn, Ockar, and Solas again. Leftmel will warn you that you are coming to the land of the troglodytes, and they are pirates, so she does kind of say, keep your eye out. You may not encounter them. You do have a big, powerful ship. You might be able to scare them off, but it's just kind of a general warning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's
Did she give us any general information about troglodytes, or do any of us know anything about troglodytes?
She tends to refer to them as the smelly lizards.
Do they have any? Do they just attack us like regular humanoids? They don't do anything particular.
They're pirates. She doesn't. She calls them smelly lizards most of the time.
Right.
She's warning you that you're coming into essentially pirate territory. There's a lot of asteroid clusters around, and she says that they tend to ambush in those spots.
When
So
you say smelly
can-
lizards, do they befoul our air? Or am I just thinking too much into that?
She doesn't know.
Um,
She doesn't know.
Alright.
So if there's asteroid clusters coming up, can Braxon use his spyglass to try and get us around asteroid clusters, or are they all over the place?
They're all over the place. They tend not to be quite so close to the surface, but that does mean that you'd be going into the atmosphere a lot more often, which would slow you down. So that's kind of a choice that you'd be making. But she's warning you. She's not. She's a navigator. She'll get you from place to place, but she doesn't know your ship's capabilities. She doesn't know how you decide to handle pirates, that sort of thing. So she's giving you the warning and letting you decide how you want to handle the risk.
Right, thanks. Has she heard anything about how they get around, how they move around, how they attack? Do they use ships?
They have ships. They have ships.
Right, Braxton have a little meeting with people. Shall we get near the atmosphere so that we can dip in the atmosphere if they try and attack us? Or do we want to be in open wild space and try and get away from them?
If it's 1-on-1, I'm pretty sure we probably scare them off. If it's more than one, they're gonna attack us. So it's a case of, can we outrun them?
Yeah.
If we want to outrun them, I assume we do.
I think we don't want to. I think we don't want to give them a chance to surprise us so that they appear too close to us.
Yeah.
I assume Red Njord's woken up by this point.
Let me see.
I was toying around with the idea of taking chaotic sleep.
Right, so are we going to stay away from the walls of this place?
He's not awake yet.
I think flying out in the open might give us most chance on escaping if one of them tries to attack us.
Yeah.
Or at least just seeing them before they get to us.
Yeah, if we fly too close to the asteroids or the they can be, since our guide has told us that they are hiding usually in there to basically ambush.
We might not have too much of a choice in certain places, but yeah, if we see small groups of asteroids, we'll give wild berth.
Well, so that's the other thing, is that there's so many asteroids that you have been flying through clusters.
Yeah.
With regularity so far.
So it's troglodytes. Does anyone in our group know anything about the fighting prowess of troglodytes versus our crew?
Not really. If anything, the dwarves may kind of be vaguely aware that they're kind of like lizardmen, but they smell god awful, is what they, they'd be like worse than a goblin's midden heap might be what they'd refer to it as.
Worse than an undead that spews out putrid air.
I don't know that they know what those are. I mean, like,
I'm just being.
Those.
No. I'm being like vague. It's like, is it worse than? Oh.
I mean, like, have you ever smelled a goblin midden heap? Probably not. That's more of a colorful phrase. So.
Yeah. I doubt that there's more than that anyone knows.
Hang on a minute. Lafdul has a friend in the cleanup crew at Brow.
No.
And was kind enough to go swimming through.
It's not my friend.
So yeah,
if he wasn't swimming.
He does have some experience.
If the dwarves have heard about this, then they'd be like, yeah, worse than that.
So enough to gag you in combat. How cripple you.
Okay, well, Braxon will say if we get to any asteroid clusters we have to go through, we want to assign a number of crew to keep an eye on each asteroid while we're going through.
I mean, if you want to specifically avoid going through those clusters, you could probably try that. It would just take longer.
Yeah, we'll try that if we can. I'm figuring we might get to a situation where there's 3 or 4 clusters, and we've got to go through one of them or make a big diversion.
Okay. So, what I'm asking is, do you want to take longer to get through this area to try and avoid those types of areas?
Well, that's what I asked everyone, and then we started talking about whether Red Nord worked.
Yeah, avoid combat where necessary, but at the same time, we've got Red Nord here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Do
they
we
must
were gonna
be
So
slow,
while
or-
you're in the territory of the and Leftmel will tell you when you're out of it. While you're in the territory of the troglodytes, basically your travel time will be doubled
Okay.
as you're making tons of corrections to avoid clusters and keep away from them and stuff.
How
like
much are we paying her?
that. 10 gold pieces per day.
Oh, we'll go bankrupt.
Well, I was not even thinking that we're also paying all of our crew the longer we take it. As unfortunate as it is.
Well, there you go.
You're still only looking at a couple days. I mean, it's not like this is going to add a week, because their territory does not cover the entire rest of the route. So it's
that's
like
fine.
just extending the
guess.
trip by a couple extra days.
That means I've got to change up my spells up quite drastically now.
That's up
All
to
my
you.
second level spells. So I'm the only one that's using second level spells here.
That's up to you. All right. So is that what you're gonna do? Take the extra time?
Well, the only feedback I've got is to go around them. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll go around them.
Or do you guys want to vote on it?
Risking our crew is higher cost in long term than just taking longer time.
Reasonable argument.
Yeah. No one seems against it, so we'll avoid the asteroid clusters.
Okay.
Yeah. Seems like a good plan.
Does she know how long we have to avoid the asteroid clusters for?
She'll tell you when you're out of the
Right, okay.
territory.
Yep.
All right. So this will
Is it
be
fairly
a day's trip.
There.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right. So another day has passed. Is there anything that anyone
wait.
would want to cast during that day?
I would have cast during the day. I would have cast 2 continual lights because I haven't been doing that for my plants. So I would
Okay.
cast that on a couple of things and hung them up somewhere,
Okay.
just so I can say that they've now got light.
All right. Anything anyone else want to do?
I'm continuing creating those spell books.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just training. Otherwise.
Alright.
What are you doing, Leva and Finn?
Leva has to be translator for the kobold.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting some
That would
background
be
noise.
all around the place.
Yeah, that's our troglodyte detector.
Oh, it's going off.
All right.
Yeah.
So this will be another day.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
No. You're fine. It's.
Oh,
There you
All right,
I think I'm in the right place then.
Yeah.
oh,
go.
there's some other passages.
Yes. So as you're traveling, you do see a large dark sea off to effectively the north. Up here. Leftmel will inform you that that is that's basically like where the troglodytes live. They live along the shore there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can visit their towns. They do trade, but they also
Right.
subsist on piracy, so you have to be careful.
Yeah. So they might attack us on the way in or out.
I mean, again, they might have ships out. The ships are kind of independent, so
Yeah.
they're kind of like pirate ports, so to speak. But they
Yeah.
do perform trading.
Do they have? Do they do slavery trading?
They most definitely do.
Slave trading.
She would tell you that they most definitely do. Mostly, it's people that they've captured. Like, if they've pirated a ship, they'll sell off the crew as slaves.
I see. Well, Leva sees.
Might be able to pick up a crew.
Leva would like to go and land on one of those. See what they can do, what we can do, or what she can do about the slavery there. Or the trade, at least.
Well, you're talking about, like, a large town, so...
It's the equivalent of overthrowing the government, that's what you're asking.
At a minimum of hundreds of individuals, if not, like, 1,000.
We could buy the freedom of some of them, or I could.
Do remember that money is short resource at the moment.
Well, the private money is okay. Feel free to use your own private money as you wish.
Yeah.
That's true.
Some of you have spells for finding things. Do you? I'm wondering if we pick up, if there's slaves there and all local slaves, we won't be able to talk to any of them.
Not without magic.
Yeah.
And Leva can only find what if we already have something that belongs to the person to be found.
Oh, I see. Okay. Could you ask our guide if they know if they capture ships from outside here often?
Do they?
Only if they're passing through their territory. It really depends on where the vessels travel. There is a route to an outsphere, another sphere, but I believe it is one that they are on good terms with.
Mm-hmm. What sphere is that?
She doesn't know it. It's not one that she's very familiar with. She's just aware of its existence. And she would indicate that that is up that way.
All right.
Okay.
She will also tell you that there's another path over here, and she will say,
Do not go down there. It is very dangerous. There are hostile bat folk.
So Leva passes that on back to Braxon.
Which route was the hostile batfolk?
Northeast.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be going, if you were going to go to the other sphere, it'd be very close. She does tell you that at this upcoming fork, if you want to go to the Hobgoblin Town Port Mogoth, that's down that way. And continuing along in the route that you're going this way is the Goblin town of Gorlgak's Rest. So that's the direction that you want to go.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. We moving on?
Yep. Does anyone want to do anything?
I would have done my memory read again.
All right.
Yes, somebody brought up a very good idea. One of the viewers. So when Leva contacts the woman at Brawl again, she will ask her to check with the Seekers, the Wizards Guild, etc., to see whether they have heard of the spheres that we are in, all the ones around us.
All right. You get a response back that she will do so. It will probably take a few days at least. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So.
Good thinking, Leva.
No, that wasn't Mate. That was Pharaoh.
Yeah, but that was a little voice in your head talking to you.
Yes. Definitely, it was a little voice saying, "Hey, why don't you ask for this?"
And the memory read was not successful.
Hmm.
So it'll be another day to get to about here, and Lefmel will tell you that that will be outside of their territory. It is possible to encounter the pirates outside there, but it's a lot less likely.
Yeah.
Copy everything.
Over there. Right.
Okay.
We can go back to full speed.
Yep. Now, as you're leaving the area near the end of that day, that is the 5th day of your trip.
5th.
Yep.
Alright, I've been doing my thing. I've only counted 3 days on this. So, yeah, I'm losing track of stuff.
Okay.
Same here.
Yeah, Alright, so 2 more days have gone.
Keeping
So-
track of the navigator that we.
So I'm at 13 days on my train. I've only got 1 more day then, according to if that's the case.
Oh, hang on. We've had 5 days, so I'd have got 5 hit points. Or a couple hit points.
Are you still wounded?
Well, I was on
I
68.
mean, I've been having healing spells. So you could have just said, asked me, could you heal me up? Or Solas or Finn. One of us have got healing spells, so.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
usually
only
if someone is banged
10
up,
minutes.
he heals. Solas heals them.
I mean, you.
Alright, so.
It
Since
took
this-
extra days to get through this area because you were
Alright.
going.
To clarify, since the start of the session, it's been 5 days. 5 in-game days.
A little bit less because you were already
I'm
18 hours into the trip when we started this session.
Yeah.
So it's 4 days.
Since the start of this, since the start of today's session.
Oh, this is a nightmare for me.
4 days will be Braxon's fully healed up.
I'm either at 12 days or 13 days of my training then. I'm just going to say 13 because I genuinely don't know and don't think it's going to matter.
And Njord and Sard would both have woken up at this point from the Deathmock, I
We're
think.
back.
From the Deathmock?
Yeah, Deathmock.
Yeah. Did you want to administer some more?
Oh, first I want to ask them how they slept.
Njord had nightmares. Sard was like, I got a crick in my back. Get us some better beds. Silithia says absolutely nothing.
She wasn't asleep anyway.
True. She is not even giving a response to you.
Wasn't there a third one?
That is
The
3 of
dwarf.
them.
Oh, sorry. Well, 2 of them were unconscious.
And Silithia wasn't.
I'll brew up another batch for them.
Okay.
Unless anybody wants to talk to them first.
I speak. Well, I say hold on. I go and confirm with Lenanius. Should we inquire? Well, should I carry on doing what I'm? Well, not necessarily that, because I am going to carry on doing that. It's a case of.
I mean, Lenelius is not a fan of you doing this, so.
I don't know. I'm just going to do and not say anything to him, man.
I mean, it should have been obvious that he is not fan of you trying to figure out secrets of Elven Navy.
Well, no, it's to not let Red Njord have bargaining power that he's claiming that he's going to have if I can get like the vast majority of it. Besides, what I'm doing is actually getting him information, because if I can learn exactly how he learned how to use these machines, Spirit Warriors.
Yes, but see, in his point,
he-
in his mind, yes, you're an elf, but you're not an Imperial Navy elf. That makes a big difference. Number one, he feels that anything you could get, the Elven Imperial Navy officers who would be doing the interrogation would be able to get it as well, faster, probably more detailed, and you wouldn't know that stuff. Yeah, a non-Navy elf knowing the stuff. That's
I'm
his point
just
of
going
view.
to keep on doing it and just clarify whenever I want to clarify something.
If we're talking about the prisoners at some point, Braxon will say, "Do you have any of those teas you have? Do you have any that make people talk?"
Nothing that I know of.
Okay. I know Lever had some strange tea at some point.
She still has it, but we don't want it to give it to them because Lever has no intention of making them feel better in any way.
Will it make them talk though?
No, I don't think
okay.
so. Don't
Well,
forget, it's not a magical tea, it's just normal tea.
yeah.
Well, not
You
exactly
see-
normal tea, but
Well, it's a good tasting with some unknown effects, but
It's herbal tea.
psychedelics, yeah, you know.
It's herbal tea.
Well,
Yes, it's nice herbal tea.
hang on. If that tea makes them feel nice, would it make it easier for someone to cast a spell on them to get them to cooperate?
Well, Lever is prepared to sacrifice a doses of her tea to find out.
Well, assuming anyone's got a spell they want to cast on them. The other thing, that might be worth asking them is if they know any of these spheres. If any of these three know any of these spheres, they might be able to help us get out. But they probably won't be inclined to help us.
No, if you would. So, are you going to ask them?
Well, Braxton wants to discuss this with the others.
Right. So you're talking about asking them, not actually asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lever talks to Lafdul and says, when we do that, let me cast ESP, so I can sort of, when you start talking to them, she can actually read their surface thoughts if she can. Doesn't always work, but sometimes.
On what I'm doing?
Asking them questions.
I'm not asking them questions.
You don't want asking questions.
I mean, I've got a million other things I'm keeping a track of. I don't have time to ask them questions.
Oh.
I mean, I'm really genuinely struggling keeping track of things here. That's why I can't think to ask questions. Someone else has to.
Well, if nobody wants to ask some questions, I suppose Finn could just give them a tea. Try and make them go to sleep.
Lever is interested in a few in some information, like she wants to know about the ogre, the orc. Was it? Yes, about the orc. But she can't concentrate and ask at the same time, or can she?
No, not really.
So somebody else should ask, and she has to concentrate on her spell.
Okay. What do you want asked?
Well, no, you could do that.
I mean, I've been doing it.
Yeah, no, it's you can definitely be the interrogator and using the ESP at the same time.
Okay.
Because it states, at least in mind read, that you can, that if the subject become, well, actually no.
No, because ESP, I mean, it is specifically designed to be used during interrogation, and I don't think the idea was that
No, I was
only the I know, but I don't think the idea is that only the that someone else has to be doing the questions. I think the idea is that you can be alone and using that.
Okay. Well, if Levers wants to ask some questions, Braxon will ask if she can ask them what they know about those individual crystal spheres, but don't tell them where we are.
I mean,
just ask them.
Again, like, just because she can ask the questions doesn't mean that she has to. She can still be there to use ESP. I'm just saying that if she wants to ask questions, she can definitely do so.
Just
Okay.
reading through the spell description.
Okay. I mean, if you want to go ask them if they've ever heard of any of these seers, you can do that.
There sees nothing wrong with telling them that we've been thrown off course by a cosmic storm, and she wants to know whether the orc could be is high enough level that he could cast that spell.
I think we should try to ask questions in ways that don't give information, if we can.
They know they've been through a cosmic storm.
Okay.
So but they don't know if the
these things don't matter, because who cares if they know that we've been through a cosmic storm? It doesn't matter.
But it might matter that they know that the orc wasn't killed.
No, we never confirmed or denied whether or not the orc was dead, but they could ascertain that he's obviously not around Red Newell, so
and we killed pretty much everyone else.
What advantage would that give them if they know that the orc is still alive? Tell me.
It might make them think that the orc is planning on rescuing them.
Not if he doesn't know where we are.
But the orc might know.
How would he know?
If the orc's a spellcaster, he might be able to talk to them telepathically. Same as you.
There's distance.
Then they already know. Then it doesn't matter. If he can talk to them telepathically, then they know he's alive, and he's talking to them, and it doesn't matter if we tell them that he is alive. That's a piece of information it's not really a piece of information anymore. They know. If he talks to them, then they know. If he doesn't talk to them, then it doesn't matter. Or does it?
Well, we could ask them how many times.
If we don't know how much information, if Leva comes up and she says, I'd like to know from them about the orc, and everybody else jumps on her and says, nah, we can't tell them about the orc.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, you're not. But Solas is bringing it up, and he says we shouldn't tell him. Leva thinks that it's total. It doesn't matter.
No, what I'm saying is, if there are two ways to ask something, and one way doesn't convey any information, we should use the way that doesn't convey any information. If there's no way to ask a question without conveying information, we have to ask the question that way.
Well, I wasn't going to go there and say, hey, the orc survived, and we think he sent us here, and he probably is on his way to free you. Can you tell us more about him? That's not really how you conduct an interrogation. No? But she's quite happy to let somebody else ask the questions. But nobody has volunteered.
I mean, Solas is busy making spell books.
I don't really have any ideas for questions in mind.
I mean, the simplest thing that has been proposed is just, have you heard of any of these spheres?
Yeah.
Which I mean, it conveys the information that conveys is that you're aware of some spheres and you're trying to get information about it. It doesn't specifically, and people can draw conclusions from that, but it doesn't specifically say that you're near them. For all they know, it may be like, we've heard that one of these spheres has a great pirate treasure hoard and we're going to go get it. There's all kinds of conclusions that can be leapt to, but that is one question that has been proposed that I don't think anyone has said anything against.
Yeah.
Well,
So you could do that if you want to, hold off on other questions until next time they're awake. Then you got that.
Does your ESP work on all of
I
them?
can tell you, if Leva asks a question, then she will ask about the orc. So there.
Yeah.
If somebody else asks a question, then she will concentrate on getting this. She will concentrate anyway. But she will concentrate more on getting the information that is being asked about.
Well, then I guess Braxon would ask about all the spheres. She's going to ask about the orc.
No, she's saying that if she does the questions, she will ask about the orc. If someone else is asking questions, then she will be paying attention to the ESP. So so it boils down to who is asking the questions at that point.
Yeah.
Lafdul, where are you?
Having a mental breakdown, but yeah, hey.
Training with his sword.
Come on, you need a break. Ask him some questions. I know you probably ask similar questions to what Leva would ask. Come on, ask a question for her. She's going to go for ESP and you can ask some questions. How about that?
If I'd known you were doing this, I would have taken such spells.
Again, part of the problem though is that you don't know when they're going to wake up from the death mock. So if Leva's just always had ESP around, it's just a coincidence kind of thing as opposed to planned for. So
yeah, it's just annoying. It's my second level spell. I've got so many of my second level spells reserved. Excuse me.
Let me see this. Didn't we have a potion for that?
Yeah, no, we're not using resources for something like this. Not in this scenario. Because this scenario can be repeated the next day.
Okay.
So to speak.
I mean, this is using up a copper piece for the ESP spell.
Yes, she only has 199 copper pieces left of the ones she put aside, of the 200 that she put aside for this spell.
A whole penny, oh no.
I have 1,851 copper pieces.
She put those aside, she kept those, she keeps those separate.
I've got mine in my safe.
So you can get those changed. Anyway, all right, so interrogating the prisoners. Let's focus on that. What do you guys want to? Who's asking? What are you asking? Let's focus on that.
So Levi is asking the question to the room, saying, "Does anyone want to ask questions?"
Well, the only question I would ask them is, have they heard of any of those spheres? But you wanted to ask something about the orc. I was just saying, is there a better way to word that question?
You don't specifically ask about the orc in any particular way that indicates that he is of worth or note than he otherwise would appear to us that they would otherwise know.
Yeah, but if no one can think of a better way to phrase it, then no one can think of a better way to phrase it, and then it boils down to, do you ask the question or not?
I mean, in the end, you can ask everything you want. You can, for all I care, you can just mention the orc and then say, "Oh, I didn't want to ask about him," because as soon as you mention the orc, it's like mentioning the pink elephant. Everybody will think of the pink elephant, and Leva is interested in their surface thoughts and not what they're actually saying, because what they're saying may be totally beside the choice.
Okay, so Leva, remind me what you want to know about the orc.
She wants to know whether he is at a level that he could cast the Cosmic Storm, and she wants to know where he could be?
Right.
Would he come and is there a chance that he'd come and try and free them? Let him go? Stuff like that. She's quite aware that they probably won't think of everything, but it's enough if they think of stuff that we don't yet know.
So we ask, is your orc friend powerful enough to cast
To summon a cosmic storm, it's just
summon a cosmic storm?
For example, yes.
Yeah.
Yet, doesn't matter what they say if it's yes or no. It's going to be the same to us because we can't trust their word for it, even if they're thinking.
she's got ESP though. That's what she's hoping that
ESP.
it'll reveal something extra.
She doesn't
Oh,
really
right.
care whether they say yes or no. She
I
really
see,
cares
I see.
about what they think. On the other hand, they do get to say no, they don't.
They do get a saving throw
Oh.
if it's part of an interrogation.
If they
Yes.
realize you're reading their minds, if you've made it obvious that you're asking particular questions.
No, it's just if it's used as part of an interrogation, they get a saving throw because
Yep.
people are actively like even if they don't know that magic is going on, they're trying not to think about it and stuff like that if they're trying to resist.
Only an intelligent and wary subject receives an initial saving throw. If we make them feel good with the T, they're still intelligent, but they may not be wary anymore.
They're gonna be wary, regardless. They're prisoners.
Level, you would have more like polymorphing yourself into a dwarf and asking the questions as the dwarf. Pretending to be a guard.
Tell me why.
No, they're gonna be wary of anyone who comes in.
They're
They're
less
prisoners.
wary, though.
It's not a question of levels of wariness. They're gonna be wary because they're prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who isn't wary is someone who you've just met in a bar, you've gotten them a drink, you've had some preliminary, hey, how's it going? What have you been up to? You know, that kind of thing. You're doing the bar-friendly chat.
Yeah. So what was the other thing you wanted to know about them?
Well, Leroy is mainly interested in the orc, and
So you want to know if he's...
she thinks that the question about the spheres is actually a very good question, so ask about the spheres. And that was about it.
Yeah, but you wanted to know if he was powerful enough to summon a cosmic storm, but you also wanted to know something else.
She wants to know where he could be. In the end, she wants to know where he could be.
If you
But,
give example spells of varying power levels and based on their responses, you might be able to roll spellcraft to gauge whether or not. Like, if you say, can he do this, can he do this, can he do this, you can either say yes or no, or think about it for a while. You could, like, can he...
Just keep it
can
simple.
He fly?
Do you know if he's powerful enough to summon a... do you know if he's
Summon
powerful
something.
enough to summon a cosmic storm?
Yeah.
Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Ask who they think the cosmic storm was summoned to get rid of.
Could be, yeah.
Probably a better way of putting it.
Yeah, I could do that.
I'm thinking this orc would be more likely to kill them than rescue them.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
Keep them from talking.
Yes, could be. Doesn't invalidate that Leo would like to know whether he could do this. And, I mean, in the end, she wants to know where he could be. Because she doesn't think that we've been successful unless we got the orc as well. Do people agree with that? All silent.
I know.
I think maybe Sealamorder should ask the questions because he's got an idea.
No, Lewa is easy.
What do you think, Sealam?
It's
Finn.
not saying it. Finnel.
Sorry, Finn. What do you think, Finn?
Eh.
So
don't
committal.
fall over of enthusiasm.
Someone needs
I
to, though.
mean,
Someone needs to. I don't care
Yep.
who, but like they're like we've been going round and round now.
Well, I will
Finn,
admit.
go ahead. Let's go and ask
Yeah.
some question. And this is let's see, it's 1 round level.
And it's only one
She-
person per round too, so you can't
Yes,
ask them both at the same time.
correct. So what is it? 1 question per minute, correct?
Essentially, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do this.
All right, who are you going to talk to first? Oh, I actually need to do a level variation first. All right, let's see.
Finn,
I have to
who
get
do you want to talk first? First.
back to the table. So slight problem. Getting ready to cast your ESP outside of the room,
You got a wild search.
and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, all of you who are there, which I think is
Not me.
at a minimum, Leva, Braxon, and Finn, as
Yeah.
well as the guards, suddenly start moving very, very slowly.
Oh dear.
Just slow them.
So, yeah, yeah, I got a wild surge. So I
Well,
think all of that talking may have been for naught anyway.
I
Let's
could have
try and do this
hasted.
again tomorrow.
Aged
Finnel,
Braxon.
how about we do this again tomorrow?
What's happening?
So, Finn, would you want to hold off on the death mock, or would you want to administer it?
I suppose we can give him a day
Okay.
of consciousness.
Okay. All right.
You
So
said
the
that very fast.
it's fine. You don't have to roleplay that.
But it's fun.
Actually, just as an idea, I will attempt to whip up a tea that sort of tastes like the death mock but isn't,
Okay.
and give that to them, and just make them think it didn't work.
Give me an herbalism check, please.
That's here somewhere.
Somewhere. Oof. Yeah. You realize right away because it smells completely different when you mix up some herbs, and it's just you don't think you have the right stuff on hand to fake it.
No, it's just I didn't move fast enough while I was brewing it.
That could be it too. All right. Yeah. So unfortunately, you are not able to get something that tastes or smells similar.
Oh.
All right. So that'll be a day. You will go. You can get underway again.
Okay. A day. What's that about there?
Do 12 hours for that'll be 12 hours right there where you pinged.
So this is now
'Cause you-
the 5th day.
No. You're now halfway into the 6th day. Remember, going through this area with the troglodytes, you traveled a lot slower, which is why it took extra days to get through there. This is just half a day now. This would be the shift changeover to second shift, Nemariel, Leva, Braxon, and Lafdul. However, during your shift, there's you apparently fly right through a swarm of the local wildlife. A very large school of these bat-winged fish, and they're flapping tremendously through your air envelope and getting into everyone's hair and faces and everything like that, and
Can we eat them?
generally being a nuisance. It's up to you. You can try to catch some. Lefmel is laughing happily and using a stick to whack some of them out of the air. And she does say
ask.
they're good eating.
Right, okay. Braxton's going to say, catch them, we'll eat them.
Lafdul's got a net down below. Blessing's coming. That takes a couple of rounds. How long does it seem like it's going to be over in a round?
They're like you've definitely confused them. They're and there's a lot like all of your crew members are they're getting scraped and cut and bitten occasionally and stuff like that as they're having to fend these off because they're not actually attacking, but they're clearly confused and they're just reacting like animals.
Oh, these are like bat-like fish. Could I assess whether or not they're blind, as they're using bat sense echolocation? So look around.
You're not sure. Maybe.
Nah, I was just thinking about blinding them with some light or darkness, but if they can't see, then if they're stumbling around, but I don't know. I can't visualize what's happening.
I mean, there's hundreds of these fish with bat wings
If Lafdul's
getting
gonna
to everyone's hair and
Lafdul.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Lafdul, basically imagine yourself in suddenly appearing in the middle of a school of fish.
Not just like a school of fish that is moving like a swarm of bats.
Braxton's gonna take out his signal whistle, and he's gonna blow a blast on the whistle
No. That actually might be quite.
to see if the bats react to the noise.
They
quite
do
smart.
scatter, but they don't have ears that you can see. Like a couple of them have been captured. They've been caught in rigging and they're just flopping around. And of course, Lefmel is whacking some of them out of the air.
Yeah, Lafdul's going to be whacking some of them out of the air, I guess.
Most of them are between 6 and 8 inches long.
Mm-hmm. So do they seem to be repelled by the sound?
Or
did they just fly around Braxton?
They reacted, but they weren't exactly repelled by it.
Right.
Just swat them out of the air.
I mean, they're moving off, like, because you just barreled right into this swarm of them, and they're confused. Like that's clearly what's going on. These animals are confused.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a chance to refresh our food supplies.
But you only have a couple minutes. You will only have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, Braxton's told the crew to try and catch them.
All right.
Yeah,
and he'll try and catch some himself.
Gonna try.
Okay. So you do manage to catch a few before they move off. Many of your crew members have cuts and scrapes from their little teeth and claws and stuff. Nothing serious, though.
Mm-hmm.
Lefmel is immediately starting to make a little deck fire. She's being careful, but she's getting ready to roast one of these things up. Smacking her lips, saying, "These are good eating. Try them, you'll like them."
We could point her in the direction of the galley.
Yeah, there's
open air roasted batfish is so much tastier than anything you're gonna get in a galley. I'll clean it up when I'm done.
You ever been on a non-goblinoid vessel?
Braxton will tell one of the crewmen looking after her. If a fire starts, throw a bucket of water over it. But otherwise, leave it to it. No, not over her.
Oh, she started a fire. She won't do it again.
She seems
Well,
to
she
know what
might,
she's
but-
doing, keeping this fire under control.
Yeah.
Where's Finn when we need him? he
Finn's
needs to
around.
control. He needs to control the fire, but he go out of control.
Now, why would he want to burn our ship?
I just thought it was funny.
So you did get enough fish to make a meal out of it for the crew.
You know, so a day's worth
Okay.
of food off.
So are you going to do that?
Yeah. Is there Finn? Can you check these aren't poisonous before we
I mean,
get everyone to eat?
kobolds eating them.
Yes, kobolds might be able to eat things that we can't.
There's only one way to find out.
Really?
No. There's probably
Has
many
has
ways to
nobody
find
got
out,
the
but
ability to detect poison?
that's a spell.
Well, I don't know.
Could Lever cast cooking?
Cast cooking?
I cast
Cooking
cooking.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if she was
No,
joking when
what
she
is
said
it?
that.
What is it? Let me
There's
Are
another
you
well
trying to-
search.
Are you trying to beat me at being bad at D&D?
cooking, yes. It's,
No, you won't know.
proficient.
You won't know if they're
They'd be
poisonous
classed
until.
as exotic
Yeah, I mean,
to her.
you
so
can
she could-
you could certainly try to cook them. You know how to cook
Yeah.
fish, so you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Finn,
that.
if Finn has any skills that he thinks might be relevant, he can try that. I'm gonna assume
think-
that's no, Finn.
I'm
Sorry, I had to pop off my headset to put it on charge for a minute.
Oh, okay. Do you have any skills that you think might reveal whether these things are poisonous or not? Edible?
Let's see. I have cooking. I have forest survival. And I have my
just a hunter as well.
granted
She-
power to know exactly what any animal is.
I think that'll be good enough because it is a normal animal. You would know that they are not poisonous. That does not tell you whether they are going to be tasty or anything like that. Just that they're not going to kill you.
What are they called? Just badfish.
It doesn't reveal to him specific names and stuff like that.
Ah,
I'd relay that they're at least safe to eat.
Thank you.
All right, so you're going to cook them up.
Yeah.
Finn and Leva, both of you have cooking if you want to get involved in this. Otherwise, you can just leave it to the ship's cook.
We can assist with it since it's
Yeah.
mass all at once thing we're doing.
All right, give me proficiency checks, please, for both of you. Okay. All right, so you do participate in cooking those up, and preparing them, adding some appropriate spices. Everyone starts digging in, and your kobold guide is really enjoying herself. No one else is. These things are gross. They're edible. People can eat them. They're not turning the stomachs, but they taste pretty bad.
I guess we'll sort of keep
I
them
think
for
they need
the-
more
for our
salt.
kobold guide.
Like when she sees your faces, she goes, she just kind of like shakes her head, shrugs, and says, "Out spheres, no sense of taste."
Uh-huh. So she probably doesn't like the way it was prepared.
So did you smoke the bats like she did?
She roasted.
You roasted the bats.
She roasted. I don't know about the rest of you. You guys can decide what you did.
Well, we assisted our cook. How did our cook cook it?
So you could assist by making additional dishes.
Mm-hmm.
He just stewed it because he's not exactly a fancy cook. He just makes stuff like he makes some stew, makes soup, that kind of thing. If you guys wanted to make some baked fish or roast them yourselves, however you would prefer to have made them is fine.
Hmm.
Ah, okay.
I think we probably would have taken a leaf at the Kobold's book.
I don't
surely.
know. It's Finn and Lev are the ones who did it. So however they would have
Okay.
chosen to make them is I don't care. It's fine with me.
Yeah.
Up to them to decide.
Well,
Well, like
then-
Braxon said, I probably would have taken a leaf out of the Kobold's book.
Okay. Leva?
Leva would have tried them and roasted them, just
Okay.
like the cook did, because that's. She would say that the cook probably knows. Sorry, the cook, the navigator,
The kobold. Yeah.
probably knows better. The kobold knows better how she likes it than our cook. So
Alright.
she would try and imitate that.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, this stuff is not to your tastes.
Ah well, we tried.
Yeah.
I will
Ah,
say
it's
that the
still a
GIF
very best-
probably were less concerned about it than the humans, elves, and dwarves, but
Hmm.
even they didn't particularly like it.
It tastes too much earthy.
It's a bit oily, greasy, maybe something like that. Just
That can be okay.
it wasn't in this case.
Okay.
So unfortunately, a bad meal
Yeah.
for the group. It was still food. It was still like substance. So and no one felt like
Oh, it's tight.
no one felt sick afterwards. But it
We
was
need
still
to-
just an unfortunately not tasty meal.
It still saved us 1 day's worth of food.
That's true. Always look at it that way. We're going to take our break now, though, on that wonderful, delicious note. So it's good time to grab yourself some snacks or something similar, and we will be back in about 10 minutes, everyone. See you shortly.
Probably have a palate cleanser.